hope you guys are doing great. I hope you're staying healthy. And today I actually have like a different type of story for you that will be related actually to one of something that happened to my family. So today's book that we'll be reading is the book called Stanley and the Class Pet. But before I tell you the story, I want to go over some words. One of the words would be the word weekend. Some of you guys may even know this word because every time during school on Fridays your teacher will be like, oh, have a good weekend, and it's actually the time from Friday night to Sunday night. That means the weekend is some Saturday, Sunday, the day where you relax, where there's no school. The second word that I want to go over is the word responsibility. Say it with me, the responsibility. Responsibility. As you can see, it's a really long word, but this word means to do things you're expected to do and accept the consequences or the results of your actions. So let's say that you made a mess and your responsibility would be to clean it up. There's a mess here from the dog, and since he's your pet, your responsibility is also to clean it up. So everyone has their own responsibility. It can be either doing homework, washing after yourself, picking up your trash, because it's yours and that's what you need to do. If you did something wrong or you accidentally spilled something, it's your responsibility, so you clean it up. The next word that I want to go over though is the word unlatch. Unlatch, as you can see, UN, on is to the opposite, right? So let's say for this one, latch is to close it, but unlatch would be to open it by lifting up a latch. I gave you an example of what latches are. It can be something like this or something like this. And what it means, it's more like you have to open something. For example, on a cage, there'll be like a latch where you pull up. It depends what kind of cage you have. And our last word is the word apologize. Apologize is to say sorry for something that you did wrong. Mostly people say apologize by saying sorry, or if you want someone to accept your apology, that means that when you're saying sorry, you want them to be like, okay, I accept it, we can become friends again. If you do something by accident, you say sorry because you had to apologize, so then the other person knows that, oh, you realize that something was done to me that you did. So sometimes saying sorry is such a good thing because it makes the others know that, oh, you feel regret and you feel sad for something that you did wrong to them. And this is where I start my story. So these are my two family pets. So one of them is called Lulu, one of them is called Coco. So let me tell you a short story about Lulu. So on the night somewhere around December 2018, Lulu actually flew out of her cage and left our house. So she flew out wandering. It was at night, so it was really hard to find her, and we did not find her. So after 2 weeks, we had to go look around. We looked around, we put up posters, but no one found her. And then suddenly, I think it was around Christmas Eve. It was Christmas Eve, and then we called Petco, and guess what? They had Lulu, and the reason why they know that because for each bird you see like a little chain around her little leg claws, and that's the chain. There's like a certain number of numbers and letters, and if you match that, that means that's your pet. And if they won't give it to you unless it matches. So we knew Lulu's number and letters, and we gave it to them, and guess what? Lulu was there, and it was one of the best times that we had. It was such a Christmas miracle. But then after, we also got a little bird called Coco, which is right here. She also has a little thing on her club, but then we were not able to really see it in this picture. But anyway, that's going to be related to the story that we will be reading today, which is called Stanley and a Class Pet, written by Barney Salzberg. So we're reading another story by Barney Salzberg. The other ones that we had read was Mrs. Morgan's Lawn and the Crazy Hair Day story. This is the other one, and let's begin. Stanley and the Class Pet, written by Barney Salzberg. Most of the students in Mr. Winger's room had taken the class pet home for the weekend. Stanley Birdbaum dreamed of the day when it would be his turn. Okay, so this is the classroom. So they get to take home their pets for the weekend, right? And the pet is over here. Stanley is looking at it. Finally, one Friday, Mr. Winger chose Stanley. "Meet Figgy," Stanley said to his mother. "I'm not much of a bird fan," she replied. "Figgy is your responsibility." Responsibility, that means he has to take care of her, right? "Don't worry," said Stanley. "I'll take care of him." At bedtime, Stanley read 7 of his favorite books to Figgy. "Get that bird out of your bed," said his mom. "We're having a sleepover," said Stanley. "He can sleep over there," she told him. So she actually brought the cage onto his bed. The next day, Larry Finchfeather came over. So Larry Finchfeather is his best friend. If you remember the story Crazy Hair Day, I'll put it at the end of my video. They are best friends, and this is another part of his story. He and Stanley played with Figgy. So you see them playing together, different types of games. Larry told Stanley that Figgy looked like he could use some exercise. "We should let him out." So Larry wants him to let him out. Now that, says Stanley, does not sound like a great idea. "Come on," said Larry. "Figgy's been cooped up in a cage. He's a bird with wings. He isn't supposed to sit around all day. Figgy needs to fly." "I still don't think that sounds like a great idea," said Stanley. "You worry too much," said Larry. So what do you think is going to happen right now? Do you think Stanley will open the cage and listen to what Larry's telling him to do? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take off! Larry Finchfeather counted as Stanley unlatched the door to the cage. Unlatch is to unlock it, right? Figgy just sat there. She doesn't want to come out right now. The bedroom door opened. "Snack time," announced Stanley's mother. Figgy flew from his cage and right out of Stanley's room. So, as you can see here, Stanley's mother actually scared Figgy, and when she opened the door, he flew out. Stanley and Larry ran into the living room just in time to see Figgy fly through an open window, up into the air and out of sight. "You probably shouldn't have opened the cage," said Larry. "I told you I didn't think it was such a great idea," said Stanley. "Then you probably shouldn't have listened to me," said Larry. "I have to go home now." "I can't believe I just lost a class pet," Stanley thought. "Poor bird." "Figgy," he called. Figgy. "You can come home now. Please?" There was no sign of him anywhere. Oh no. So right here you see them blaming each other actually. But now Stanley is looking for the class pet. "Larry Finchfeather made me lose Figgy," Stanley complained to his mother when he got home. "Whose responsibility was it to take care of Figgy?" she asked. "It was his idea to let him out." "Did you say no?" asked his mother. "Not exactly," said Stanley. "Could we move to New Zealand?" He called Polly, Otis, Anita, and William, and Stanley hoped it would be easier to face everyone at school if a few of his friends knew he had lost the class pet. Larry Finchfeather was waiting for Stanley the next morning. "I probably shouldn't have begged you to let Figgy fly," said Larry. "I should have said no," said Stanley. So right here you see them saying kind of sorry to each other, right? "I should have had this, I should have done that." Stanley told Mr. Winger he was sorry he had let Figgy fly away. Larry apologized and said it was all his idea. "I know how hard it must be for both of you to tell me this," said Mr. Winger. Mr. Winger decided that the students should talk about the things that they will miss about Figgy. "I'll miss the way he hardly ever blinked his eyes," said Stanley. "I'll miss the noises he made in math class," said Larry. "It sounds like we need to find a new class pet," said Mr. Winger. "Any ideas?" "How about one that swims?" said Polly. "Or one that has a shell," said Otis. "One that slithers," said Anita. "One that hops," said William. So think about this. What can swim? Think of an animal that can swim. Think of another animal that can have a shell. one that slitters and one that hops. We could have 4 class pets, said Larry. Now that, said Stanley, sounds like a great idea. Oh, you see, this one has a frog in it. And I think this one's a snake, which is the one that slitters. This one is the one that has a shell because it's a turtle. And the one that swims, it's a fish. So now there's 4 types of pets. And that's the end of the story. Now it's time for some questions. The first question says, what does Mr. Winger let the students do over the weekend? Is it A, go to the park, B, not do any homework, or C, bring the classroom pet home? Think about it and let me know your answer. Alright, let's go over it. What did you guys get as your answer? Let's say it all together. I got C. Bring the classroom pet home. That's what Mr. Winger took turns for the students to do, which I felt like it was a really great idea because they were able to practice responsibility and learn how to take care of something. Number 2. What is the name of the classroom pet bird? Was it A, Fuggy, B, Figgy, or C, Feggy? Which one was it? Think about it and let me know your answer. Alright, the answer should be B, Figgy. The other ones were kind of tricky, but as you know, I kept saying Figgy, Figgy, Figgy. When Stanley was looking for the pet, he was like Fig, Fig, Figgy, and the name is Figgy. Number 3, when Stanley brought Figgy home, his mom kept saying that Figgy was his what? Was it A, responsibility, B, bird, or C, new pet? What was it? She said it twice. Alright, what did you guys get as your answer? Let's say it together. It should be A, responsibility. If you got that, good job to you. Remember his mom, the minute he came home with Figgy, he was like, Figgy will be your responsibility, so you will take care of it. Number 4, what was the problem with the story? Was it A, Stanley didn't get to bring Figgy home for the weekend, B, Stanley let Figgy out of the cage and he flew away, or C, Larry wanted to take Figgy home? Which of the following is the correct answer? Give you some time to think about that. Alright, let's go over. The answer should be B. Stanley let Figgy out of the cage and he flew away. That was the problem of the story. Remember, Larry wanted Stanley to open the cage and Stanley actually did. And when he did, the mom opened the door and guess what? Figgy flew out of the door, he went out of the window and he was gone. Number 5, at first Stanley blamed Larry, and Larry blamed Stanley for Figgy flying away. Whose fault was it? Was it A, Stanley's fault for not telling Larry no, B, Larry's fault for pressuring Stanley to open the cage, or C, both Stanley and Larry's fault? Pressuring is making someone do something that they really didn't really want to do, but they kept on begging. So which of the following is the correct answer? Give you some time to think about that. Alright, Let's go over. The answer should be C. Both Stanley and Larry's fault. Remember, at the end, they even apologized to each other and to the teacher for what they both did, because it wasn't just a one-person thing. Both of them were in it, and they knew it, and it was nice for them to know that also. So sometimes you can't really blame someone if you were also in it, on it, right? Number 6, how was the problem solved? Was it A, Stanley and Larry both apologized and told their teacher, or B, Stanley pretended that nothing happened to the bird, or C, Stanley and Larry bought a new bird to bring back? What did they do when this problem happened? Alright, let's go over it. The answer should be A. Stanley and Larry both apologized and told their teacher. It was a great thing to do because the teacher was actually really proud of them and let Larry and the other classmates bring other pets so that they're able to take care of, right? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you liked the story about my birds going away and coming back. It was a great experience. I can't believe it happened as well. And sometimes really miracles do happen, and you should never give up. Have a great day and take care and stay safe.